Well, Vince Rice leaving the studios here at NQT. Wow. What you think there? Good buddy.
I'm just wondering, you know, how do you get pleats and shorts and make them denim at the same time?
Okay,
That's
so what are when fabric is pleated and when someone says that, I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
uh they're kind of a puffy short in a way. They have some
What?
creases in them,
No, there's no
kind of puffs them
way.
out a bit.
You're saying the man is claiming Docker's denim shorts that are puffy?
I'm I'm promising you they don't sit flat. They've
So
got a
he's
little bit of
wearing
a
his jean shorts are puffy
puffy shorts,
in a case in his closet behind lock and
probably
key with
with a light
guns.
shining down on it, maybe with a security code,
I
maybe a
really
picture of the shorts hanging
if
over the shorts.
if we could ever find a video clip, Vince, if you're listening, of you walking into your closet and saying your name and having an iris scan and the glass opens with a little smoke and here comes your denim pleated Dockers shorts that get delivered to you via hanger, that'd be amazing.
Or if the door opens and it starts playing some sweet Hawaiian sounds, some ukulele,
Well, we did learn a lot
maybe
about
some
his
Elvis.
shorts,
Yes.
shorts and Hawaiian shirts. Maybe, just throwing it out there from a little bit more of a higher quality content. What did you think about his 30 plus year, I mean, probably longer than that experience with small groups, people, kind of kingdom advancement, kicking them out of the nest, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's commitment there. He definitely invested the time. What I liked is that he was real about, okay, this was not my idea going
Hmm.
into it. Uh, people had to kind of cajole or nudge him in that direction, and he didn't even feel equipped for it. Really, didn't speak to groups often, and so this was completely, um, something that God steered him
Hmm.
along in this direction, and then also provided for him throughout. So that was evident. Uh,
Yeah.
what about you? What were some of the major takeaways
Well,
there?
I was encouraged. I was encouraged in, like you're saying, no one's perfect. It doesn't require a scholar. There's no super Christian out there. And like you said, he just kind of they stumbled around and got started and then got going. But so it made me think a couple things. I was just thinking, okay, anyone can do this. Any Christian is capable of pouring into others and then staying proactive to invite other people into that type of community at the same time. So it's anyone can do it. It just takes a little bit of intentionality and focus. And I feel the tension sometimes in different groups I'm in and community where you do get real, but like we talked about in the episode, if we're doing it just to do it or it gets stale and we stop inviting other people in, I don't know. I'm so convicted with that because it feels selfish because we know at the same time there are people out there not experiencing that type of community.
Right. And it's going to be harder, it seems, to invite people in the more solid and stable and
Yeah.
unified you get. It just seems like there would be a lot of extra work to help them to engage with a group like that.
Yeah. 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 Have
Yeah.
you had good experience yourself with like launching different groups or kind of spreading people out like if they're not budging at all?
It's been a challenge, I would say,
It's
in groups that I've been
been
in. It's been a big challenge when I've been in a group, when I've led and when I've been a part of, I would say, just because it starts to get to be a group that gets together each week that likes each other and
yeah.
likes hanging out. And we like the place that we would go to. And, you know, we would go meet at like a Fuzzy's or another taco place. And it just became kind of our uh, little family group in a
Yeah.
way. And as you get to be more of a family, sometimes it's harder to, like I said,
Mm,
invite people into that
mm,
family.
mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's, what about you? I mean, it's You already talked a little bit about it, but is there anything else that stood out to you?
You
Uh,
know, it was his intention with always reminding people, you can do anything God's calling you to do.
yeah, I
And
like that.
kind of and challenging people to go, okay, what is that? So, where does God want you to be in community? And what does God want you to do? Because we all have, every single human being has different gifts and skills and abilities. And
Yeah,
so, when you think about the local church and a small group and things like that, you need all these different people participating. It just feels, I don't want to just do cheap community and get togethers because you're supposed to just get together. Um, that just feels like a waste of time. And I do wonder if sometimes that's just what we experience. And then deep down, we don't really like it
yeah.
because it's not really what we're supposed to be experiencing. But I liked his intention on looking at, little Timmy over in the corner. I
Oh,
don't know
there's
why. I
Timmy again.
don't know why
Yeah,
he's little Timmy, but whatever. And you're just like, little Timmy, what is it God has wired you for? And where should you be in community, and not giving little Timmy the answer. Like, you know what I mean? Encouraging him to actually go before the Lord.
yeah. I found that helpful too, and even a challenge because we do spend a lot of time in church talking about growing leaders. And
Mm-hmm.
I liked how he underscored the fact that you have a lot of people sitting there that aren't going to be there the rest of the week in church that need to understand how they're wired and what it is that God wants them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily that there's opportunity to do that, but what does God want them to do? And not that they have to be a leader or lead someday in it,
Sure.
but what about that day? What about that week? And so I like that intentionality too. And I thought that was a really key point as far as what he was sharing.
Should we have him back on in the future to talk about finances as he
We could
teased
talk a
out?
lot of stuff. I really want to get him to get beyond the or, of the lightning round as well. I want him to pick a side. I want him to pick a, um, you know, when we throw the lightning round at him, we need to make sure that there's no or.
Yeah, he did have a
One or
lot
the
of
other.
questions. He kind of
Yeah.
backed out
So
of
next
that.
time, Vince, you are, yeah. When that lightning strikes, we're gonna get you to side with something there.
So essentially, what you're saying is, Vince, thank you for the content. It was excellent, high quality across the board, but your lightning round skills are terrible. That's what we're saying.
Yes, we're saying that we're gonna hold to that,
All right.
and he can
Well,
take it.
he can take it. Okay.
Well,
Well, oh, what were we gonna
while we're
say?
picking bones,
Yeah.
you mind if we pick another bone?
Yeah. Let's go. Pick a
So
bone.
one of the things that okay, I will.
Okay.
Uh, when I mentioned that we go to the same church, or that Mike and I go to the church, and you're like, well, wouldn't you assume that people would need to know that? It's funny because as we went along in the episode, several names were given of people on staff or
Yep.
people that are part of the church that people listening have no idea who they are.
Yep.
And
Yep. I
so
realize that too.
we set a high
And
standard, and then we did not follow that
no,
at
no,
all.
we did not. And if uh we'll get better, as a podcast and as hosts to help that. And we were letting our guests talk and share all the names that he knows, and everyone can figure out eventually who those people are. They can start
Sure.
Googling and figuring that
Maybe in the
out.
show
But
notes.
yes,
We
yeah,
put them in the show
we
notes.
might put a little bio of everyone in the show notes.
So that's for you folks out there who are confused and have no idea who some of these people are. We'll try to do a little bit better next time.
Okay, well then, lasting thoughts for this debrief and Vince Rice. What do you got?
Yeah, so 30 years, 30 plus years. And the man has a lot of wisdom to share. And I was thinking about the launching of groups out of other groups, all that's taken place, and the people that we know that have, gone on to, lead small groups because of what Vince and Sharon have helped to pour into them. And just think he needs to write a book.
Mm. What would you call
I,
that book?
I love you. Now leave.
That is a perfect title for the man, the myth, the legend, Vince Rice, your jean shorts and Hawaiian shirts, and your lack of answering on the lightning round is your reputation, my friend. Thank
And
you
sipping on
for
an iced tea.
sipping on that McAllister's iced tea with your whatever level of ice that you want and all the Vinceisms in the world. So thank you. This is the debrief.
Thanks so much for joining us. Please consider rating and reviewing our podcast and hitting subscribe on whichever platform you prefer. Remember to keep moving forward because we're not quite there.